Hello, how are you? Welcome back to the second part of the series and the conversation I started having about how you can move from certification to profit. Now, before I get into this part two, one of the things I've noticed a lot of people want to function in this sector is that many of them have a religious mindset. Now, because in the religious space, you want to just help people. And so many of us have a profitability mental block that says, freely have you received, freely have you given. So you just want to help people. You are not thinking of making profit. But what you don't know is that, yeah, you're helping people, but someone else is paying your bills. So think about it this way. Let's assume you don't have any other job and this is all you have. What are you going to do differently? That's where I want you to think about it. Because the more you get certified and then you are giving it for free, then you're not helping the people in the industry. And by the way, that notion about freely have you received, freely have you given is not correct. You did not get your certification for free, right? So if you take a certification, for example, you're paying close to $600 to $1,000, to spend to learn the family system engineering model, right? And so I want you to think about it this way, that this is all you do and this is what pays your bills. What are you going to do? So think about it. Let's say that what you earn from this practice is what will pay your rent or your mortgage, is what will pay your children's school fees, right? So think about it. In the last 1 year, what would your life have looked like if you have no other option? Now that drives it home, because you need to understand that God is never upset with you if you earn from what you do. So step two, right? Today I want to talk about the need for you to build a personal brand. Because a lot of the times when it comes to selling, many of us don't know who we are, right? And so and I've done a lot of videos. I mean, I have a video on mentoring where I taught about this. If you're a family system engineering practitioner, you might want to request for that video. It's one of my mentoring sessions. I'm sure you have access to it, especially if you're just graduating, right? I've taught a lot of sessions on mentoring where I mentor some of my colleagues, right? Jesus said something. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I'm going to give you rest. Now, that is a personal brand statement. We look at it from a religious point of view, but I look at it from a marketing point of view. When he says, I am the way, the truth, and the life, no one comes to the Father except by me, that's an audacious statement, right? Because before then, nobody can even say, mention God like that, because they call him Yahweh. They were afraid of him. But here is a human. That was why at some point they tried to stone him, because this guy was making himself, equating himself to God, as it were. But guess what? He did not say others should not call themselves whatever they wanted to call themselves. Now, here's the question. If you ask, and I want you to do this, ask 10 people that are close to you, and you ask them if they, I mean, what's the one word they can use to describe you, right? If you can't find four people out of 10 mention the same word to describe you, it means your signal is very weak, and it means that your personal branding is compromised. Now, when you mention Serena Williams, what comes to your mind? Lawn tennis. She's even retired, but lawn tennis that comes to your mind. When you mention Maradona or Messi or Ronaldo, it's football, right? When you mention Bill Gates, you think Microsoft. When you mention Elon Musk, you think Tesla, right? When your name is mentioned, do we think family life coaching? Do we think parenting coaching? Do we think premarital counseling? What comes to our mind? If what comes to our mind, as a matter of fact, the other way to look at it is this. If you tell like 10 people to go on your social media handles and check and give you a feedback on what they think you are doing, it will give you feedback. It will give you a clear feedback. Some of you have checked your handles and it looks like you are pastoring. It looks like you're a religious leader because you are inviting us for church programs, but there is nothing about you counseling or you coaching. There is nothing about you teaching on family life. There is nothing about that. And so you need to build your personal brand. I remember what my mentor said to me many years ago when I was starting out. He said to me, Praise, go and look for what nobody's teaching and start teaching it, or what they are teaching, they are not teaching it the way you want to teach. So I looked at the value chain, I looked at the sector. There was no professional family life practitioner that I wanted to be like, because what the people that dominated the sectors were late Pastor Bimbo Dukoya, Pastor Lumide Emmanuel in Nigeria, right? And then I thought about it. If I start teaching marriage, I was even married, I couldn't compete with them. So what did I do? I looked for what they were not teaching. Sexuality education and how to prevent child sexual abuse. Nobody was talking about that the way I wanted to talk about it, because I was molested as a child. So, and I've been through sex addiction. So I understood, right? So I started talking about it, and that was what brought me to the market, right? The moment that brought me to the market, my mentor said, when something brings you to the market, then you can diversify, because whatever carries your name would sell. And so that was what happened to me, right? And so Myron Golden said, mindset plus skill set plus tool set is equal to asset. Now, it means that for you to build a personal brand, it starts with your mindset. Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. It's a marketing statement. He was selling himself, right? Now, think about it. If you were in that meeting where he said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life, and you got to, how would you report it? You would tell your people that, oh, I met someone who said is the way, the truth, and the life, that nobody can come to the Father except through him. What have you done? You have been his affiliate marketer. That person starts to look for him. And that's why we say that sometimes, a lot of the times, people use crisis to trend. So they will look for someone with huge following and they go and abuse that person. The moment the person makes the mistake of responding, all his followers going to check that person out, right? It's a marketing strategy sometimes. And Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Say, come unto me, all you that labor, and I'm going to give you rest. How does someone make that emphatic statement, right? It's a mindset. It's the way he sees himself. So the question is, how do you see yourself? See, I see myself as the number one family life strategist in the world. That's how I see myself. And I have carried this mentality when I didn't have a car. I've carried this mentality when we didn't have any certification. Carried this mentality before I could travel abroad. I have always carried, because champions don't become champions in the ring. They are only recognized in the ring. And if you see the level of work I put in, the level of research I do, you will know this guy wants to be number one family life strategist. There was not even any field that looks like that. They had family therapy, they had family counseling. Strategy was not there, right? And so you need to understand, I start with your mindset. Who do you say you are? Who do men say you are? The people in your life, who do they say you are? Right? And what do you say about yourself? Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So your mindset, and then your skill set. That talks about the activity, that you need to put in place to scale, right? And that will talk about your knowledge of, marketing, your knowledge of building funnels, your knowledge of the market, the marketing language, the brand. I mean, that talks about it. Then you have the tool set. It talks about your competence. Already with your certification, you are competent, but I know some of you, the big problem is that you are not confident in yourself. So there is a voice, auto-suggestion, which we call pathological critic whispering to you, you don't have enough, or don't go and disgrace yourself, or well, how will you know what to apply now? How these people, they knew. Let me tell you, when I started out, they also know what to apply from what they taught me from school. But I had the belief that I could solve problems. I had the audacity to believe that bring on the problem. I know the framework. I know the strategy. I have tree of life. I have triangle of life. I knew what I know. I was so sure about it. And I was writing about it every day, right? And so nobody's absolutely confident, because even till tomorrow, I see a butterflies in my tummy when I have to go and speak. And this is me who has been speaking, taking sessions for 24 years of my life, right? And so don't think that there is something wrong with you, because what some of you do is that you now leave school, now say, okay, you know what? I need another certification. You go for another certification. Before you know it, you become a knowledge addict. You are just consuming, a knowledge junkie. You are not applying, but you are going from one certification to another. And by that, I'm not saying don't go for certification program. The only problem is many of you don't have confidence in yourself. It's like self-esteem issue. It's not that you're no longer competent. It's that you always think you are not enough, right? And so you look at people like Bill Gates, you look at people like Elon Musk. These guys, some of them drop out of school, but look at what they've made out of their life. It's audacity. If you go to Nigeria, there's a guy, a guy that called Prophet something. The guy sells rainbow. The guy sells You know, the water at the pool of Bethsaida, the guy is selling the stone that killed Goliath. And even the people buying, you think that they are okay. No, it's the audacity with which he's selling it. And so we say that an ignorant man who sells his ignorance with audacity will have more patronage than an enlightened man who sells his enlightenment with timidity. Did you get that? You need to write it down. An ignorant man who sells his ignorance with audacity we have a larger market share than a knowledgeable man or an enlightened man who sells his enlightenment with timidity. So are you timid or are you audacious? So go on social media, let them know that you are the best that exists that can solve this problem for them. So what do you need to put in place? Right? You want to ensure that you have a professional online presence, right? And like I said the last time, if you don't have money to build a website and all those things, please go for affiliate, go for franchising, because with franchising, a lot of the setup cost that you need is already covered by the company that is already existing. But if you want to do this, you will need a professional website. It's cheaper to build now. At least if you don't even have a website, have an Instagram handle, TikTok handle, depending on the audience you are reaching out to, or any media that comes out, because I don't know how long this particular video is going to last. It might be in existence for the next 100 years. So we don't know the social media they're going to be using. But social media profiles, email addresses, and a consistent personal brand messages. If you look at many of my write-ups, you will see me end it with "I honor you," right? Or "making your life better," or something like that. There must be something that resonates, that is consistent with you, right? And so when you're signing up, you would say, with me your life gets better, or with me your relationship gets better, or with me, you never have to go through divorce, or with me, I take your relationship from great to exceptional, or something like that. Make sure that there is something that after a while you've said it, written it every day, right? Written it about it, spoken about it every day, that every time people see you, that's what comes to their mind. There must be a reinforced message that consistently reverberates with people when they hear you or when they think about you, right? So today, if you don't have a social media presence, go and sit with a social media manager and let them help you. Some of them are overly too expensive right now, but it's something you can learn, right? You might want to go and learn how social media works. There's how the hats work and all these things. You put them in place. Now, so these are the action point. Create a simple website with a bio, service, and contact form, right? Use platform. I mean, you can use WordPress. You can even subscribe to Kajabi. There are some white labels that you can be on. Everything is all inclusive, has already been made for you. Then you want to set up a professional social media account, right? You want to be on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. See, corporate people, execs are on LinkedIn, all right? Middle class, a bit of the upper class are on Instagram, right? Facebook is all of the above. Middle class, upper class, lower class, everybody's on Facebook. So if you check me, what I write on Facebook is different from what I do on Instagram. It's different from what I do on LinkedIn. Now, it's different from what I'm doing on TikTok, because I've built a team. So I have the luxury of a lot of helps, right now. You may not have that, so, but then you can start from somewhere, right? And then you want to share valuable content, tips, and stories and insight 3 to 5 times per week to establish authority. Don't talk about everything. Focus on one thing and mind the different sides of it. Part of what you can do is to go on ChatGPT and say, oh, I want to focus on premarital counseling. What are the 50 top problems that singles are dealing with, right? It will give you all the problems. Then you can generate your solution through either research, or you can even tell ChatGPT. I don't really like to do that because I love to generate my solutions as original as I can, right? Except when necessary, or maybe I don't have time, right? But life has become very easy. What you want to do is to posture yourself as an authority every time you show up, right? You will have a lot of distraction. Oh, this person is fighting this person. You are tempted to comment, but you ask yourself, how does this help me promote my personal brand? Because within 1 year, you want what you do to replace your name. That when they mention what you do, the only name that comes to their mind is Praise Forward or something like that. I have done that consistently, that they want someone to be a subject matter specialist on something, and you just go online and my name pops up. And they ask people around, Praise Forward, that's the best guy you can ever get, right? And it's a function of consistency. So you need to show up and make up your mind to do this. So what days of the week are you going to be posting? What are you going to be posting? So I want you to create your content for this month, right? What are the topics you're going to be addressing, either in writing, or you are going to use sliders, or you are going to be talking about it. You need to have a YouTube, right? Because some of this, you see, the good thing about content creation is that it never leaves, it never expires, right? There are people created content 100 years ago, we're still listening to them on YouTube, right? And so you need to understand that this is an asset that never expires. I hope this has been helpful. When we come to next, I'll take the part 3. I'm going to part 10, and I believe this has been helpful for you. Like I said, you can reach me. You can do a WhatsApp chat. You can send a mail. Or if you're in Africa, you can go to familyhouseafrica.com. That's the franchising platform in Africa. And then we have South Africa. We have all kinds of parts, different parts of the world, people taking franchising from us, and they're operating on their own, independent, interdependent in us, because we're providing some support for them. And if you want certification, maybe you're not certified, ifedacademy.com. You have a lot of, you want to be a team coach, parenting coach, family life coach, and several other courses that exist in there. So go there and then avail yourself of what we have in there. I'll see you some other time, and know that you can actually move from certification to profitability. I can't wait to hear your story, and I can't wait to see you truly thrive in this industry. I'm the best that exists, family life strategist. Praise forward. Have a fantastic day. Bye bye.